Hi, I'd like to introduce Chad Holt, my daughter's boyfriend, to y'all. And Chad just would like to speak to you. And we'll go ahead and let him speak.
Thank you, Matt. I think when you start talking about elected officials, people in politics, the people that want to make a difference in what goes on in their community, in their neighborhood, in their state, in their county, very much similar to the situation that Matt's in right now. You have to talk about who and why the person is, the character that they have, and are the things they talk about and the things they want to do really what they believe, or is it just a sounding board? Is a clever catchphrase for some gimmicky thing you can put on a T-shirt or put on a sign or put on a billboard? If you really want to know Matt Crow, honestly, if you want to know Matt Crow, you don't have to wait to hear him speak in front of a courthouse. You don't have to follow him to Flint to deliver water and do all the charitable things that Matt does just to help out his community. Long before the conversation of running for sheriff in Genesee County was ever relevant. If you really want to know Matt Crowley, you can go to his house, you can knock on his door, you can sit down at his kitchen table, and you can have a conversation with him about who and what he believes. And the one great thing about Matt that you have to respect, regardless of elected position or unelected position, is who and what he is who and what he lives and practices every day. The things that he holds closest to his heart, meaning his family, his country, and walking the right path, the path of the Lord that he believes is so clearly laid out for him in his life, that those things are things you can't fake. They're not things that are something that you make up and hope that people buy into, who you hope that they believe. That's not how it is. Genuinely, 2.5 years ago when I met Matt the first time, I kind of knew what I was getting into a little bit because his kids kind of brought it to my attention a little, I guess. But it's kind of undersold, and I only say that because it can be looked at as a very unique way to live your life, perceive things from a constitutionalist standpoint, protecting the rights that founded this country, the things that Matt believes in so wholeheartedly, and the freedoms that we have as Americans every day, not only in Genesee County, not in just Michigan, but in the United States, the country as a whole. And those are the things that are tried and true for what Matt wants to do. It's not just about what he can do in his hometown, what he can do in his home county, what he can do in his home state. If Matt had his way, it would be everywhere, anywhere, and he would tell anybody about it if he could. And that's what's genuine. Character is not something you can teach. It's not something you can script. It's not something that you can go out on a limb and just ad-lib and hope that it's believable, because that's not what it is. Character is a core value. Character is a core value that is compiled by all the things that you believe in and you practice what you preach every single day. Anybody can talk. Anybody can sell you a bill of goods. Anybody can tell you that they're going to change the world. But if you're doing things because it is who you are, then it's so much more profound. Matt can make an influence tomorrow talking to 50 guys down the road at a construction site, talking to 100 kids at a school, talking to one guy in the middle of the supermarket. Matt will tell you the same thing regardless of who, where, what walk of life. It doesn't matter. Matt is who Matt is. And that's something that you can't change. It's something that you can't buy. It's something that you can't make any different, because it is who he is, and he truly lives it every single day. The same things that Matt says in his campaigns, that are on his flyers, that are on his T-shirts, that his committee and his team and his family have bought into, are the very same things that Matt Kroll said to me 2.5 years ago at Christmas time when I met him the very first time. It stayed consistent. It stayed tried. It stayed true. It stayed who he is. It's humble, but at the same time it's passionate. And you have to love somebody that will put themselves that far out there, regardless of whether he's judged for it or not, whether or not people agree or disagree. He'll put himself out there and he'll say, this is who I am, this is what I believe, this is what I think is the true and right. And that's where I am, that's where I stand. And honestly, if this works out or it doesn't work out, I think the thing that would disappoint Matt the most in not becoming sheriff in Genesee County is the fact that he wouldn't have a chance to spread the message to the masses as much as he wants to. He'd have to kind of stay where he's already been and doing it one at a time here and there, but he wants to make a change. And I don't mean change like I'm going to change the world. Change like bringing people back to the root. He said it to me the other day, actually. We were having a conversation. He showed me a YouTube video of Ronald Reagan's dictation, I guess, for lack of a better term, of the Star Spangled Banner and why the song was written for Francis Scott Key, and he told me the story. And then he showed me rather a YouTube video for all of us, myself, his wife, his daughter Ashley, my girlfriend, what that was and how it was and how true it rang for him. He showed that video, and at the end of it, he said, if there was one drop of that type of patriotism left in this country, then we could be in such a better place. And that's a genuine sentiment. He genuinely means that. And I think that's the thing that you have to hold in the highest regard. If I don't know what anybody's agenda is for sheriff in Genesee County. I don't know what they expect of that person. I don't know what the expectations have been of the existing sheriff or any sheriff before him. But if you really want to talk about somebody that you can believe in, I don't mean aimlessly believe in. I mean believe in a way that you can get behind it, because it's the same guy, the same speech, a family man that believes the right things, that is morally sound and structured, that truly wants to make a change for the betterment of his people, his friends, his community, his family, and anything else that goes on. And if nothing else, you have to have respect for it. If you get a chance to listen to Matt Kroll talk about America, if you get a chance to listen to Matt Kroll talk about God and his beliefs, if you get a chance to listen to Matt Kroll talk about where he would like to see this county, this state, this country in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, 100% take the time to listen to what the man has to say, because not only will you not be disappointed, you're probably going to find motivation that you never really thought you had, because you don't understand what patriotism is. Matt Kroll is probably the most accomplished person I can think of to deliver that speech to you. And it's a wonderful message. It's a wonderful thing to hear, and it's a wonderful point of humility for, I think, for every person out there to think back and realize and really listen to what the man has to say, because not only is it passionate, but it's true. It's based in fact. He's not a guy that's blowing smoke. He's really talking about what's important to him, important to what he thinks important for anybody else that would listen. And I think you can't go wrong, at least hearing the man out. And it's great.